Grand Rising, welcome to the channel Excellence, where we strive for excellence. We strive to be one better than what we were yesterday. Why? Because we were born indigenous people and were born to live free with no rules and no conditions. No man has a right to put any conditions on anyone's life. Anyone's life. Now we're going to talk about this Jim Crow, Willie Lynch syndrome. These plans were laid down by Jim Crow and Willie Lynch. First, it was called the making of a nigger. Because see, at that time, what they called a nigger was a dark-hued person, such as me. Darker or either lighter, which we know there's no such thing. Man cannot be a Negro. See, let's break it down first. Negro, nigger, a name given to a river in West Africa by Moors because it contained black water. Colored is anything that has been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed. Black, according to science, means death. Ethiopian. Ethiopian means something divided. So man cannot be a Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian. Because man was made in the image and after the likeness of his father, God Allah. See, let's get that out first. See, but Jim Crow and Willie Lynch laid down a plan called the making of a nigger. So if you was dark hue and you were a certain color and you lived in the South, we could, as Europeans, which y'all call them white folks, but they're Europeans, and white means purity. Purity means God. God means the ruler of the land. Understand that. See, we were called the light people. We come from the place where the light came into existence on its own and manifests itself in its image and after its likeness. What is our proof? Movement and repulse. Understand that. And understand that clearly. Now, when Jim Crow them laid down this law, the making of a nigger, they went after dark-hued people, captured them like animals. Like you deer hunt every year. See, they were nigger hunting every year. You feel me? Catching what they call the so-called Negro, the black man. And enslaving him, beating him, whipping him, raping him in front of their family, in front of their women and children, degrading them in any way, manner, in any way possible. Did everything they could to break a nation of people. Now, after they broke that nation of people, that was the making of a nigger. Then they come out with the making of a slave. See, now we gonna make slaves. We gonna take all people of poverty, white, black, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Dominican, African, Jamaican, it doesn't matter. We're going to take all of them and make slaves out of them. And once we make slaves out of them, we're going to set up a system, a government. This is meant for them to depend on us for survival. Now, the only way that this is going to work, we must brainwash them in a way that they can feel within themselves that they cannot survive without us, that they cannot survive without our system. And if they buck our system, we'll lock them up. Now, law, when it comes to law governs all events, but we can change law as we go. So as we go and as we learn knowledge, which they are going to think we are gaining evidence, but we are just getting knowledge of how to manipulate them and to keep them in bondage. So when they set up the court system and they say they got rights to exercise, they have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be held against you. It said against you, not for you. Against you in a court of law. Now, how can you make up a law like that and say it's going to be used against you in a court of law? I'm not going to use nothing you say for you to try to help you get out. Not the judge, not your lawyer, not your prosecutor, not the investigators, not nobody is doing anything to get you out. But in that same token, you are presumed innocent. You are presumed innocent until proven guilty. Now, y'all know that's a goddamn lie. You guilty until you proven innocent. According to the way they set this shit up. See, this is layman's terms. A layman's terms. Law is written in Latin, not English. So, if a judge say to you, well, Mr. Washington, you have been charged with possession of a firearm. Do you understand the charges? That ain't what she said to me in English, but let me interpret it in Latin. In Latin, what she said is, Mr. Washington, do you wish to stand up under my judgment of authority? Hell no. Who the fuck is you? What is your status? And what is your jurisdiction over this human being? In other words, who gives you power to judge me? It was written only God can judge me. So if only God can judge me, why am I in a world full of judgment? And I ain't afraid to stand up for my free national standards as a human being. I have rights. One of my free rights is a free right to travel. I do not have to purchase a horse, donkey, or a mule and register them at a DMV for me to go anywhere. So therefore, everything when it comes to traveling falls under a horse and carriage law. Now, I don't have a donkey, I don't have a mule, I don't have a horse. I bought a carriage, right? To pedal is a motorless carriage. I do not have to register it, give it to a corporation. I don't have to put it in a corporation's name. See, because that's what you're doing, putting it in a corporation's name. I'm not part of that corporation, and I'm not cooperating with it. I'm not a part or a partial of that. So I'm not signing up for that. I'm not giving you my property in your company unless I'm doing commerce on the road. Now, if I'm doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, or something like that, then I'll go get emission tests, insurance, and all of that and put a plate on my car. But if my car is purchased for me to travel to and fro this earth, to visit family, friends, and go to the store and stuff, I don't have a constitutional right to give my property to no city, state, or government agency. I am not a part of it. I'm not working for them on the road. But now that is law. But people out there are so Jim Crow and Willie Lynch that they won't even stand up for their own rights. They will live by what is called the color of law. So now I became a law enforcement agent. I'm in the matrix because these are agents. Now I'm in a I got a law enforcement agency that's still tracking me like I'm a runaway slave. See, the police force was put into action for the sole purpose of catching runaway slaves from the north and bringing them back to the south. Because the north is what, blue, and the south is red? You Democrat, Republican, or whatever. See, that's slave and slave master. You feel me? See, a lot of y'all are supporting your own captivity. You are supporting your mental slavery. You are funding wars against yourself. Wars are funded through what? Drugs in the streets? Mostly. All wars are funded by the underground because it's a war. So there's, you know what I'm trying to say? There's nothing in love and war. Ain't nothing fair. Ain't nothing fair in love and war. Why is that? It should be nothing fair in war. A whole lot should be fair in love. But see, this is how they want your mind to be set on destruction. So if your mind is constantly set on destruction, what are you going to rush up on? Your own destruction. Because you're destroying yourself. Until you can go into yourself, into your mind, into that land of fleshless things, and see the omnipotence of this world displayed before you, you're going to constantly be a lost sheep. To all the lost sheep out there, I am glad that God has chose me to be a shepherd. And I hope that everyone with an ear to hear and an eye to see and a heart to sympathize can find the power to save themselves through my words, actions, and deeds. And I hope that this world could assist me in saving myself through their words, actions, and deeds. The moral of my story is let's all act accordingly in moving forward, in moving into greatness, and into making this world a better place for our grandchildren, our children. You can't make the world a better place for me because I have already experienced all the hell and turmoil that this world can put me through. But can we save the youth? Can we save the younger generations? Grown-ups, grow up. I can't say that enough. Grown-ups, grow up. That means use your thinking, reasoning, willing, and your understanding as a adult, a parent, a guider, a leader, a director. When I was a child, I thought like a child. I act like a child, and I did childish things. Now that I'm an adult, I act like an adult. I feel like an adult. And I raise my thoughts to infinite wisdom to see the omnipotence of man displayed before me like an adult. When you become an adult, you become intelligent. See, adults are intelligent. They do things to make things work. They solve problems to undo creations that other people have created, conditions that other people keep creating. See, you will go out there and create a condition for yourself and never be man or woman enough to govern it for yourself when that fire come to hit your ass. See, that's called selling wolf tickets and other people buying them. See, a lot of times, your high signing and grandstanding will get you noticed in darkness. Let me say that again. A lot of times your high signing and grandstanding will get your ass noticed in darkness. See, when you in them dungeons and in them dismal crypts and in them hell holes and the lights go out, see, your bullshit can be detected in that darkness. When you live a dark life and you do dark things, you see them tales from the dark side. You wake up in the morning with the thoughts to go and steal something out of the store. You ain't hurt the store owner because you the thief. He don't have to steal. Your ass do. So when you got to steal from people and deceive people, don't you realize that you are a useless babble of this world? You are the problem. The problem is you. See, poverty is only the person that dwells in poverty. And if you continue to dwell in poverty, then when it comes to poverty, it is you. It is you. When you can raise your thoughts above poverty level, then you can live amongst decent human beings. And once you can raise your thoughts above human level, then you will be able to live in spirit. And once you can raise your thoughts above that spiritual level, then you can seat yourself amongst the gods. I come to y'all in love. I leave y'all in peace. Hit that subscribe button if you want to ride with God. If you're going in this direction and seeking eternal happiness and eternal life, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. We in the matrix. So everything you do is universal consciousness. You are dealing with what is called the World Wide Web. That's the matrix. Right now, if you're watching me and you can hear my voice, you are in the World Wide Web. Don't get caught up in foolishness and folly and tick-tock, because time is running out. I came to y'all in love. I leave y'all in peace. Have a blessed and prosperous years, life. Have a prosperous, eternal happiness. See, eternal happiness comes from internal happiness. Understand that. I love all of y'all. I am Excellence, Dr. Sonny, the world's best friend. Have a blessed day.